Hello my lovely viewers, my name is Essie and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm back again on yet another juicy tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing us how to cut the male kaftan top or senator top. For this video not to be too lengthy, I've decided to limit this tutorial only to how I cut the bodice. However, if you want to see how I cut the neck pipe, how I cut the chest pockets and also the sleeve, I'll be attaching the link to the videos to the description of this tutorial, so it's easier for you to locate them and benefit from them. If you are new to this channel, you're welcome. Kindly click on the subscribe button so you get notified when I upload new tutorials. Also like and engage on the tutorial. Let me know if it has benefited you. If you are a returning subscriber, you are also welcome. Kindly like and also engage. God bless. Let's go into the tutorial now. This is a cashmere fabric. I folded it over into two. So this is the wrong side, this is the right side. This wrong side is where I'm going to be doing all of my marking, all of my traces. So now the first thing to do is to get the length of the top. For me, my top length is 36 inches. So I'm going to mark that 36 inches. I'm going to mark the 36 inches. Then I'm going to add 2.5 extra inches for turning in. Once that is done, I'm going to now get my circumference. You know, the measurements we're going to be using is our top length, our chest measurement, the shoulder measurement, or the back, whichever one it is, the sleeve length, and the round sleeve circumference. Those are the major measurements that we need. If you want to give it more shape, you can measure the waistline. That's the you measure from the shoulder down to the the pelvic area where it has that curve, and that's the hip line. So whatever measurements you get from the chest, for many men the chest is the widest part. Meanwhile, there are some men that have a tummy, so for them the tummy size is going to be the widest part. So whatever the widest circumference is, that measurement is what we are going to use to cut this front panel out. For me, it is my chest measurement, which is 45 inches. So by the time I divide it into 4, I'm going to be getting 11.25 inches. I'll just say 11.5 inches. So when I get my 11.5 inches here, 11.5 inches here, I'm going to leave space for the allowance. I'm going to add 3 extra allowance. These 3 extra allowance will be extra allowance that I'm going to put inside, and it will also be needed. It will also be needed for my armhole slope. So I'm just going to leave 3 extra inches on the side. Just follow me whatever I'm doing. So that leaves me with a measurement of 15 inches. So I'm just going to mark the 15 inches all around. All down to the full length of the top, and then I'll cut it out. So I'll roll a straight line. Roll a straight line. So this is what I have all the way down. This is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut it out. The next thing to do is to cut our back panel. Same thing that we've just done for the front panel, that is what we are going to repeat for the back panel. The only difference is we are going to be extending the neck, the length of the back panel. So we're using the same thing, same vertical length. The only difference is the horizontal length. So for the back panel, we are going to be adding 6 extra inches to the back panel. 6 extra inches to the back panel. Why are we doing this? The reason why we are doing this is because we want to give our kaftan a shape on the neck. Like we want to a design on the neck, so that the shoulder joint is not going to be directly on the shoulder. It's going to extend a bit. I'll show you by the time I'm done with work. By the time we get to that point, just follow me as I go. So I'm trying to get an extra 5 inches from this length. After getting the extra 5 inches, we'll cut it out. This is the front panel, while this is the back panel. Like I said, same vertical length, but the back panel has 5 inches extra. It's 5 inches longer than the front panel. You can see this is extra 5 inches. It's extra 5 inches. So now the next thing to do is to draw. So I'm going to draw this, the front panel, to meet the back panel at the very end. This is at the end of the blouse, at the end of the top, the senator top. So that's extra 5 inches. So they're going to be same length towards the end here, and then on this side we'll have our extra 5 inches. After we've done that, we have the extra inch on top here, which will help us to shape our shoulder. So the next thing is to shape the shoulder. How do we get the measurement to shape the shoulder? The measurement is the neck circumference, the neck of your client's circumference, divided by 4. For mine, which is a circumference 19.75, the neck depth is going to be 4.9 something, but I'm going to be going with 4 inches. So the 4 inches has been marked here. Now on this end, I'm just going to give it a slant up onto the edge here. So this is the slant of our shoulder slope. So this is going to prevent any bulging around the shoulder area when you slope it well. The next step to do, I'll fold this over for a minute. I don't want to cut it here. I'll fold it over for now. And then the next thing to do is to fold this. Remember, it's 5 inches. So we're going to fold it over to 2.5. Fold it into 2.5. So we have 2.5 inches at the top here. So 2.5 inches all the way down. Ensure that on the fold we have 2.5 inches all the way to the top here. So we have 2.5 inches. Now on this 2.5 inches, that's where we draw our shoulder points. So I'm cutting away that slope now. Cutting the slope now, so that it will be easy for me to place this here. For me to place it on top so you can see it very well. So this is it. So we'll slant it this way, meaning that this is going to be extending at the other end here. So measure our 2.5 all the way to the top. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. So when I'm comfortable with this, the next thing I'll do is to I will cut it right here. So after trimming it out and shaping it well, I always like to leave half an inch over to fold over for joining. Just be mindful when cutting, so you won't go and cut the top fabric. That's the most important thing. So after that's done, give it a good press to keep it in shape. And then once that is done, the next thing to do is to mark the shoulder slope. So the shoulder, for me, the shoulder I'm using is 19.5. That's the shoulder measurement I have for my clients. So shoulder measurement 19.5 divided by 2, we get 9.75. So we'll place our 9.75 here, and then just mark it here. After that is done, then we'll go with the armhole slope. Usually I measure the armhole slope on my client's armhole. So the armhole that I have is 9.2. So I'm just going to measure 9.2 all the way here. I'll use 9.5 just for extra ease. So once that is done, I'll give it a straight line. So that's what we have for now. Then the next thing I'll do is to measure the chest. I'm going to be measuring the chest. The chest circumference is 45. So when we divide it by 2, we get 11.25. I'm going to go with 11. I'm going to go with 11.5. So I have my 11.5 here with my 2.5 extra inch. I'm adding 2.5 extra inch. So I'm just going to give it a straight line. I'm not giving it any shape. I'll just give it a straight line all to the bottom. But before that, I will curve my armhole slope. So to cut my armhole slope, I'm going to come out by half an inch on the shoulder line. Come out by half an inch. Then at the midpoint here, which is 9.5. So the mid of 9.5 is 4.75 thereabouts. So I'll mark this here. On this point, I'm going to come in just a little bit. Come in by half an inch. By half an inch, then I'm going to continue down the slope. So this is what we have now. So this is our actual line from here all the way to here outside. So this part is only going to be on the front panel. For the back panel, I'm not going to go in by this inch. I'm just going to go straight. I'll just follow this line straight on the back panel. So just follow me as I go along. If you like, on the waist side, waist point, you can come in by, if you want to give the top more shape, you can come in by the 1 inch or half inch just to give it a curvy shape around here. That's for guys that like that anyway, but my client just wants it to be straight, so I'm just going to do a straight one. So this is what we have. So this is what we have. So I'm going to cut it out now, so you can see what I'm doing. Our back panel is well laid and well ironed on the front panel. Remember, we'll leave half of an inch, which you use in joining. So the next step to take is to get our neck circumference. And to get this neck circumference, to get this neck, this is the length, this is the depth. To get the perfect measurement to use for this, you have to definitely measure your client's neck circumference. So the client's neck circumference will determine what you mark around here. For me, my client's neck circumference is 18 inches. So now the 18 inches, I need to get it here. Usually for neck inches between 14 to 20, the length is usually 2.5. No, we have an extended corner here that flaps into here. Can you see from the upper part? So we won't be using this as part of our measurement. We'll be cutting this out. So the actual measurement will be at the tip of what we have here, and then we'll just extend to the length of the shoulder slope. So I'll measure my 2.5 inches here. 2.5 inches. Make sure that it's well curved. And then the next thing to do is 18 inches divided by 2. That is 9 inches. So whatever we are doing, we have to get 9 inches down here. So how do we do that? We just place our tape. We'll place our tape and try to get our 9 inches. You know, we have removed 2.5 here. So place our tape at the edge here where we have about 2.5, and then just curve it round until we get our 9 inches. We're using 9 inches because we're only cutting on half. We are working with half of the bodice, with one half of the body. So whatever we cut here reflects on the other half. That's why we're using 9 inches. So we have our 9 inches around here. I'm just going to mark this, and then the next thing to do is to connect it around. So I'm going to draw a straight line here which is going to help me in connecting it round. I'll draw a straight line here. And another straight line here. And then I'll just try and curve it. Ensure that this upper part is curved so that to give it that curved shape at the neck. And then once we try to achieve our curve, we're going to measure to see if we have the right measurement. So I have my 2.5 here. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 inches. So we have our perfect neckline. Let's check again. This is 2.5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and our 9 inches. So we have a perfect neckline. So this, we are only cutting on the front panel, and this part, no, this part is already assumed to be part of the front panel. We only need to join it, and that's it. So we are not cutting it. So if you cut it and it's gone, just know that you have you don't go with that. So please, you are only cutting this top part. After it is done, just cut it straight. There we go. So this is our neckline. The next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to cut 1/2 inch on this point so it doesn't give that sharp edge. So I'm going to cut 1/2 inch off that back. So just slant it upward like so. And here we go. So this is what we have. This is our perfect neckline. I'll open it up so that we can see what we have. So by the time we join it, this is what we will be getting. This is the neckline that we will be getting by the time we are, can you see the neckline? Yes, so this is the neckline that we have got. The next thing, this is the neckline. This is the perfect neckline for our neck. When we measure it to see what we have, start from here. Thirteen, 16, 17, 18. Perfect. That's all we have. Lovely. The next step is I'm going to be creating a slit for the neck, for the plaquettes. So usually you can use a length of 7 or 8. I'll be going with a length of 7 inches. I'm going to mark the 7 inches here. This is going to be just on the front panel. Just on the front panel. Let me separate the back panel. Before I make the slit, I would like to press it down so it gives a flatten to flatten the surface, so it's easier. By the time I trace it out, it's easy for me to work with it. So after doing that, then we cut our slits open up to our 7 inches mark. So this is what we have here. So this is our slits. So this is where we are going to be attaching our plaquettes. After we have cut our bodice, remember we're going to put a slit by the side. So I added 2.5 inches for turning it in. So I'll be coming up by 2.5 inches. Then I'm going to, the slit length I'm going to be working with is 7 inches. You can use 7.5, you can use 8 inches. It all depends, but we're going with 7 inches. So I'm just going to mark it, and then I'll create a notch at that point to help me know where I will stop when I'm sewing the side. So I've created my notch. So before joining our back panel to our front panel, we are going to cut an extra support for the back panel, especially on the shoulder area. And to do this, I'll be using this fabric, turn it to the wrong side again. This is our back pattern. This is the wrong side. So we'll just cut it. We will place this on it this way. Place it like this. This is just to give extra style and extra support to the back, and also to so place it this way. The folding here is on this side, just as the folding on the back panel. So the folding are on both sides. Then just lay it flat on top of the extra support, and then give it just trim it round, and that is it. So if you notice, it is straight here. Some people prefer it to be slant. If you want it to be slant, you can go up by 1 inch, 1.5 inch, to give it more shape on the others, on the back. But I'm just going to go with a straight shape. Now just cut this out. Once I'm done cutting this out, so this is what we have. I'll fold it in by 1/2 inch. By 1/2 inch. This is the right side, this is the wrong side. So I'll fold it in 1/2 inch like this and press it. Then I'll place it on the right side of our back panel. Place it on the right side of our back panel like this, the folded edge on here. They are the same shape here. So put it this way, ensure they are well laid, and then pin it together. Pin it together like you can see. Just as you can see, and then just sew a straight line here. After sewing the straight line, then we will now go ahead and join our front panel to it this way. We join our front panel to it here and here. Yeah, let's go. So we have joined the back panel supports. This is what we have. I'm just going to press it. And we have also joined the front panel to the back panel. And this is what we have here. I'll also give it a nice press. So I'll give it the shape by placing it. The armhole are going to be just on top of one another. You're going to match the armhole together so that you can get the right shape for the neckline. So I've done that. Now I can be able to shape the neckline perfectly. So by the time we join our front panel and our back panel, this is what we have. And then we'll place the front panel on the back panel, pin it together at the shoulder slope, pin it together at the shoulder slopes, and then straighten it well, press it. After we've done all that, we have our neckline. The next thing to do now is to cut our neck slope, the neck piping. We'll cut our neck piping. So with this, we have come to the end of this tutorial. If you have stayed to this point, well done and thank you. Like I said, the video of how I cut the neck pipe, how I did the plaquettes, and also how I did the sleeve will all be attached to the description of this video. So if you would like to watch them, kindly check the description and access them. I attached it for easy access, and I didn't join them to this video so that it won't be too lengthy. So once again, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button so you can get notified when I upload new videos. Also like, share with people that you believe will benefit from this video. If you are also a returning subscriber, thank you for watching. I hope you have been able to learn from this video. Thank you so much, viewers. See you in the next video. Bye.